Nigeria is one of the biggest footballing nations in the world, full stop. They are giants of Africa, have a very rich footballing culture and produce a lot of top footballing talent, but that has not really translated to success on the pitch in the last few years. They have not won a trophy in over 13 years now and have not been to the World Cup since 2018. For a footballing nation of their calibre, this is just really bad. And for this consistent failure, there is more than enough blame to go round. You can point fingers at the players for not wanting it enough, the Football Federation for not hiring the right coaches or doing their other jobs well enough, or you could even blame the country's government for the alleged corruption, which affects the football just as much as it does every other sector of the country's economy. The problems surely do abound, but today we're focused on one of the possible solutions. As we said, the country produces so much talent, so we're here to look at the kind of team they could have if they begin to do their homework from right now. This is what Nigeria could look like at the next World Cup with good scouting.
Hey Goal 90 family, what's good? The World Cup season is here and you already know the vibes on this channel. So for everyone who's been rocking with us, Goal 90 Shop has World Cup jerseys for the whole squad. Men, women and kids. Whatever country you're repping, we've got ya. Home kits, away kits, clean classics and the loud ones. Instant match day energy. And it's love from us. Free shipping worldwide. Grab yours now and let's run this tournament together.
Oh, and by the way, this topic was a special request from one of our special subscribers, so big shout out to Oluwapo. If you are a part of the Goal 90 fan and have more topics or ideas you would like us to make a video on, leave a comment and we'll see what we can do about that. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel first. Anyway, back to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Of course, we'll start with the goalkeeping position. One guy on whose door they must be knocking on right now is Arthur Okonkwo. He was born in England to Nigerian parents, which means that he can represent any of those two countries on the international stage. He came up from the Arsenal Academy but now plays for Wrexham, who could be playing in the Premier League next season. Nigeria would be wise to tie him down before his stocks go all the way up when he starts to play in the English top flight. By the time the next World Cup comes around, he will be 28. He should certainly be Nigeria's #1 by then. Stanley Nwabali has not been so bad for the time since his debut, but he'll be well into his 30s by the time the next World Cup comes around, so it might just be wise to have a younger player in his prime between the sticks. Maduka Okoye should also be kept in the fold. He seems to be getting better by the day and could be a valuable player to have in the squad over the next few years. Now, to the defence, we believe that Nigeria has a top defender in Calvin Bassey. If he continues at this rate, he'll be the leader in that defence ahead of the next AFCON and World Cup. He'll only be 30 years old when the next World Cup comes around, so he'll have the perfect blend of experience as well as a physical prime. They also have an absolute gem in Benjamin Frederick, who is just 20 years old right now. Anyone who has watched him knows that he is surely going to be a top player in a few years, so the Nigerian Football Federation must ensure that they treat him like a golden egg, because that's exactly what he is. They must also keep their eyes on Leonard Ngenge, who just earned a big move to Premier League club Leeds United. He made the giant leap from the Nigerian Professional Football League this January and is currently with the Leeds Academy, but he's expected to morph into a top central defender in the next few years. So, Nigeria would be wise to not let him slip away. Now, at right back, if Nigeria can move quickly, they could have Michael Kayode as their man for the foreseeable future. He was born in Italy to Nigerian parents, which means that he can represent any of those two countries at the international stage. At this very moment, he is yet to make an appearance for the Italy first team, but that might not be the case for much longer, because the kid is blowing up fast in the Premier League. If the Nigeria Football Federation can step in right now and get the 21-year-old Brentford man to pledge his allegiance to them, they will be doing themselves a massive favour. Italy already took a top fullback from them in the person of Destiny Udogie. They must move quickly to ensure that they don't take another. Ola Aina is surely a top right back also playing in the Premier League, but he'll be well into his 30s by the time the next World Cup comes around, so it's only wise that they start to look for a long-term replacement for him. Anyway, at left back, Bruno Onyemaechi does a pretty good job for the national team, and he'll only be 30 by the next World Cup, so he could still keep his place. Now, to the midfield, with Wilfried Ndidi and Alex Iwobi already at the brink of their 30s, Nigeria will be very wise to start looking for players who will succeed them in the midfield. One player they must be looking to sway is Leslie Ugochukwu. The former Chelsea man has proven to be a very solid deep midfielder, And at 21, he is still very young, but already has experience playing in one of the toughest leagues in the world. Okonkwo was born in France to Nigerian parents, and with the France midfield looking super packed, it's unlikely that the midfielder will get a call-up anytime soon. Nigeria must see this as an opportunity to pounce. Every player wants to play at big international tournaments, and Nigeria could offer him exactly that. Another former Chelsea midfielder they could convince to join them is Kani Chukwuemeka. Born in England to Nigerian parents, the Dortmund man can play for any of the national teams, but with England looking just as packed as France, Kani is unlikely to ever get a Three Lions call-up. But he's not a man devoid of options. Apart from England, he's also eligible to play for Nigeria, France and Austria. So if Nigeria wants him, they must move very quickly. He very recently requested to switch allegiances to Austria, so it does feel late already. But of course, until he is featured in 3 or more competitive matches for any nation, Nigeria could still step him and try to win him over. But the biggest target they should have their eyes on right now is Ethan Nwaneri. This one will be very tough, as he probably feels he has a real chance of playing for England in a few years, but the Nigerian Football Federation must try to make him an offer he cannot refuse. What that will be, we don't know. But that's their job, right? Nwaneri was born in England to Nigerian and French parents, which means that he can play for any of those national teams. This kid is already a star. He is the youngest player in the history of the Premier League and has already shown some real promise with Arsenal. This is a player who can totally elevate a team and turn the fortunes of a nation. And if they do manage to convince him, they could have him for the next 15 years. The footballing authorities in Nigeria should be doing whatever to make this work. And remember, apart from attacking midfield, he can also play on the wings, so his versatility would also be very valuable. Nigeria could have had Saka, Olise, Eze, Musiala and Madueke, but they lost them all. If they want to secure the future of football in the nation, they must look for a way to start converting these exceptional talents at a young age. But other guys like Raphael Onyedika and Fisayo Dele-Bashiru could still do great jobs in the midfield in the coming years, so while they're trying to convince other players, Nigeria must also make sure that they're treating these guys right. Now, up front, of course, Victor Osimhen will still be expected to lead the attack. He is one of the best strikers in the world, and you'll expect that he'll have moved to a top team within the next 4 years, so we don't see how he loses his spot as Nigeria's number 9. But it is very important that the country gets him a good supporting cast so that they don't end up wasting his prime years. Ademola Lookman will surely retain his place in the attack as well. He was already one of the best wingers in Europe, but his recent move to Atletico Madrid has taken his level and reputation up a notch, which can only be good for the national team. But they still need more top players. One top prospect is Kevin Shade. The Brentford man is one player Nigerian scouts must be trying to convince to make a switch. He was born in Germany to a Nigerian father, but despite the fact that he has already played some games with the Germany senior team, he can actually still switch allegiances, as only 2 of his appearances have come in competitive games. Shade will be a very valuable asset for the Super Eagles. He can play on the wing and down the middle, so they must try to make him switch allegiances if they can. But if they want to, they must move very quickly. They must also be talking to Emmanuel Emega. Born in the Netherlands, the Strasbourg forward can also play for Togo and Nigeria, and of course, this presents a massive opportunity for Nigeria. This kid will very likely blow up after his move to Chelsea this summer, so Nigeria should be talking to him right now and looking for a way to tie him down. A versatile forward like this would be very important for Nigeria, but if they let the Netherlands take him to the World Cup, that would be it. Samu Agahawa and Joshua Zirkzee could have been great steals as well, but it is too late on both fronts. But well, as you can see, Nigeria can really look like and actually be world beaters ahead of the 2030 World Cup. The West African nation should be looking at returning to the pinnacle of football, and that entails winning a major trophy as soon as they can, and not only qualifying for the next World Cup, but also going far at the tournament. And all of that begins with the Football Federation doing its homework and scouting and convincing top players starting now. It's now time to hear from you guys though. Are there some more players you think can and should make the Super Eagles team at the next World Cup with better scouting? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.